No matter where you go, no matter what you do, take that Maui style with you. Cause if you ain't Maui styling, you just living on an island. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 There is sunshine in your heart. It's been with you from the start. Lift your head, look to the heavens, then you will feel brand new again. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Reach out your hand and help each other. Your mother, your father, your sister and brother. There is love in this family. Pick yourself up and get on your feet. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Makena styling, up country styling, Campo styling, Kahana Valley styling, Hana styling, Waihu styling, Bahia styling, Keanai styling. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Maui styling, Maui styling, don't stop me now. Maui styling.
Aloha! Welcome to another Mama Presents. Today we actually aren't Mama Presents. Because Mama is Maui Arts and Music Association. We like to call this up close and personal. It's very early in the political year and in the political season here in 2008. But we thought it would be a nice introduction to the season to bring upon someone who has been visible on the scene and active, but may not be someone you know, and they're now going to be running for office. Many of you know Jan Shields, and others of you don't. Well, let me introduce you to her bird now. Let me introduce you to Jan Shields, candidate for State Senate, District 5, which is, what area is that, Jan?
That is West and South Maui.
West and South Maui. Aloha, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Aloha.
I don't know where to begin, so I thought the best place to begin is first give you what I know about Jan. Jan has been one of the strong proponents of having a new hospital here on the island, Malulani project, which was very much in the news. A lot of people were hoping and wanted a new hospital, and then there were those that didn't. And in that whole process, I got to see this young lady and saw that she had a lot of passion. And when I suddenly heard she was running for State Senate, I wanted to bring her on. So we're going to get to know her better right on the air together, okay? Again, thank you for being here with us. What brought this passion in you to decide to run? I'm sure you're not only a one issue kind of candidate. You've got things on your mind. What got that something in you to decide to run?
Well, I'm a neonatal intensive care nurse, and I've done that for many years in Detroit in a level 3. I did neonatal transport, and I wrote a book on neonatal skin.
Neonatal, that's probably young newborns.
Newborns, age
babies.
nothing to 29 days.
Okay.
I work with preemies, little 1 and 2 pound babies that are, of course, sick. And we can do a fabulous job with these babies. We can allow them to grow into human beings that are able to live and work in society if they're taken care of well. And I've done a lot of that, worked with the sickest babies, the littlest ones. And when I first started coming to Maui, people were begging me to move here, saying we had a huge shortage of neonatal nurses. And I did, and I worked at Maui Memorial for 1.5 years, and I was very sad to see the lack of resources they had and the lack of education. And I wasn't able to change that. So I met up with Dr. Kwan and started working
Right.
with him. And he said Maulani would have a neonatal intensive care after I explained to him what was going on here. And he said we could have one, and so I had to work to get the whole hospital to get my babies unit. So that's kind of how it all started.
You mean you had to work about the new hospital
Yes.
to get the baby? So basically you came, were at Maui Memorial, found their facilities weren't adequate, and they weren't prepared to move in that direction. And so as this new thing was happening, you jumped on with that. And I know there were lots and lots of people that have been very disappointed that that project hasn't moved forward.
Yes, yeah.
And there's all kinds of talk that there weren't enough, what is it? There wasn't enough business
Which
to
is
support
absurd.
another hospital. I don't.
That's absurd. That's absurd. The
And so-
people don't see the fact that if you are keeping all of your patients on Maui, in Maui County, instead of sending them away, we have plenty of business for a new hospital. The problem is this: they don't go over to Oahu and spend a day. We send our sicker patients there. So they're there a long time. And so that gives us a whole lot more, we call them FTEs, but they're patient hours. And we need a whole lot more nurses if we keep these patients here, a much bigger hospital.
So that really was quite an issue.
Yes.
So in that process, I guess, were you involved in... We'll be with you guys in a bit.
Caleb, be a good bird.
In that process, is that where you got political? Were you involved in other things? I mean, your visibility and your eloquence at stating things became a situation, I guess, of necessity. Did it get comfortable? I mean...
Well, at first it most certainly was not comfortable. I was not used to public speaking. I did, prior to being a nurse, I was a veterinary technician, and I did teach veterinary anesthesia up at Michigan State University. And so I did speak to 5 or so people at a time, students. That's the most of public speaking that I had done. So when we had to go testify for the CON in Oahu, I was very uncomfortable in testifying public speaking at all.
You know what a CON is? That's all right.
Certificate of need.
A certificate of need to be able to get a new hospital. That's all right. You need to have, so you went there and you were speaking about why we need it. That's
Yes.
what you mean.
And I was terrified, to tell you the truth. I had to get up in front of all these people. But I knew if I did not get up there and speak, then the people were not going to know about the babies, about our Maui babies and what was really going on. So I got up there in my little squeaky voice and I testified and I didn't die. So I got a little more comfortable with it.
But now, when we were speaking, you were talking, for example, education is another area that is a
Huge.
passion and important enough. I guess these are the kind of things that I'm really going to be asking.
Okay.
What areas of our social system kind of moving you to want to be involved, and how you hope to be valuable in this position to affect positive change?
Of course, healthcare is my main issue, and it's a big issue, and I think it is the issue. But our schools are really in peril. Our charter schools are not getting funded. They have 100 students more, and they need more money. are funded. They're supposed to get about $8,465 per student. They're down to $7,100 per student. They need facilities. Their facilities are not up to par. These are public school children, and there is no need to give them less than any other public school child. We need to give all of our students the same amount of funding. There's 8,000 students now in charter schools. There's 31 schools. So we need to take care of these students the same as everybody else. Shall I put them away?
Do you think we should put them away? We'll leave them.
My
You don't mind a little
misbehaving birds.
squawk. If you're going to be in politics, you're going to hear a little squawk here and there.
It's kind of a big squawk.
Well, you know, they got something to say.
You let me out of the cage.
That's it. You know, it's funny. I've been involved here on Maui, I'm happily to say, you know, it's 20 years this year, 20 years. And we've had people running in different races, and some people have been in politics for a while and then out. And you are here in West Maui. You're running against someone that's been in office a little while and has some kind of visibility. Are there any areas that you feel that you're a clearly different candidate and have different things to say? Because isn't that what we're really all about? Is how can we add or subtract something to make a better system?
Right.
Anything specifically is rising up in you that you know? You know, as we're watching these current elections, we see them trying to compare each other and show where they're different. That's what I'm hoping to see.
Well,
What
you
do
know,
you see?
I always say it's time for action. Nobody on this island really has ever come up to me and say, hey, I want to be just like Oahu, and I don't think any of us want that. But it is time for action. It's time to quit talking. It's time to build hospitals. It's time to build private hospitals, not government hospitals. It's time to get the Lahaina bypass. It's time to get Kihei Charter School. And it's definitely time to hit certain areas that we do need to build, and we do need to come up with solutions. And I don't see that happening. I see that there's so much. We're going to have to. There you go. But anyways.
Just pointing at him.
Anyways, that's more where I see. I'm a trustworthy person. I'm a dependable person, and I'm a very honest person. So you're going to see that. I think in what you see in me. What you see is what you get. I'm upfront. I'm honest, and I tell it like it is.
Do you have good reading skills?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think there's a lot to be known. I mean, I've had numbers of interviews with people, and over time, the greatest thing I find is that candidates sometimes are surprised. They have a big learning curve. But it sounds like if you're doing neonatal nursing, you know about detail and learning.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you done this process, or you were involved in a couple of things that went
I wrote
with-
a couple bills this year. I wrote a bill to abolish the Certificate of Need. I didn't call it the CON. And I kind of knew what would happen. I knew it would be killed in the legislature. I suspected, I hoped not. But what happened, we did get it sponsored in the legislature. We had it sponsored in both the House and the Senate. When we went to the incumbent's office and asked her if she would sponsor this bill, she said yes. We asked her if she would support this bill, and she said no, it won't even get a hearing. When I said to her, do you understand that people can't get to the hospital in time in West Maui, and people can't get to Oahu in time, we don't have time, and that by not abolishing the Certificate of Need, which would have allowed us to start building hospitals immediately, I said people are going to die by this. And she said, oh Jan, people die. Well, you know what, no, not on my shift. Not on my shift. My babies don't die, they live. Perhaps if you're elderly or you've got some disease, yeah, it's going to happen. But to just not acknowledge that we save lives in medicine today. We keep people alive. That's what we do, and we can do it here on Maui. Our Maui people, their health, they don't get the same results, the same outcome as the people on Oahu do. Our children don't. If our child is in a car accident, they may not make it. Where if you're on Oahu, where there's pediatric intensive care units, they'll do a whole lot better. They get the kind of care they need immediately. So that was a real motivating force for me to run.
And I imagine that's still on your agenda.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Have you begun to create alliances? I think I kind of know the answer. With people that are rallying to be supportive, to be helpful in the areas that you'd like to do?
Yes.
Do you have a team of people?
Yes.
You know, I mean, I'm really asking these questions because sometimes when someone's new, the questions come up of what's it going to take you to get up to speed to be able to function. So that you've been writing bills, you've been working with
Yes.
people and gotten into this process now.
Yes.
Enjoying it?
You know, it's different. I really like meeting people. I'm, of course, a lifelong learner, and so that's fun. I'm learning a whole lot. It's different to not be an expert on everything like I am when I'm in neonatal, so that's a different issue. But I'm learning a ton. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. My team. You asked me about my team.
Yeah,
We have a team going, working with the campaign manager and working. We've got 4 West Maui team captains, and we have 2 South Maui team captains. Just excellent, smart people, motivated. They care about our schools. They care about the infrastructure, and of course, they all care about the hospital system. So that's really good. And then a lot of my AIM group, my Association for Improved Healthcare on Maui group, have come over too, and I expect more of them will. And so they're being very helpful too in helping me get elected.
Well, all of you who live in South and West Maui, you may have a knock on the door, and it's going to be Jan out there and her
I'll
team.
be there talking to you.
This is a very interesting time.
Yes.
And the things are changing in Maui so radically. Well, I got here in 1988, and I was going to say, I'm sorry to say, I don't recognize the place. It's changed. And there's always a balance between being modern and getting all the conveniences and losing some of the style and charm that is Hawaiiana. Mm-hmm. Have you looked at all that? I mean, we have rampant development. And in my opinion, we have rampant high-end housing development, nothing that addresses affordable housing, things that are in line with the masses of people here who are serving the tourists coming over, that are serving the deep-pocket individuals who own some of the more expensive property. Have you looked at that? Any thoughts on that? Or
yeah, absolutely. What they call affordable housing is in no way affordable in my book. And to build houses without building infrastructure, to build anything without building the infrastructure we need along with it, is just absurd. You're only going to create problems. There's no way you should do that. We need to be thinking about things that will facilitate the people who live on this island. If all of the people move off, we've got no one to take care of the people who come here who aren't working, either to live and retire or as tourists. So we need to think ahead of all of this. We need to definitely get affordable, truly affordable housing for people that are within their income. We've got so many people who are forced to live with other families or with other family members, and that's fine, but at some point people want their own homes. The other thing, we really need to be taking a lesson from Oahu and their light rail system. They're trying to put in a light rail. I'm not saying we need one right now, but that land is 95% vacant. Let's buy the land. Let's say it's going to go to the airport up to Napili. Let's say it's going to go from the airport down to McKenna. Let's buy that land so that we've got it. Perhaps the airport over to the mall or over to Wailuku.
You've been reading my mail. I've been talking about this stuff for so long, since I ran in the mid-90s. Why, if we know we're going to be building something in the future,
Yes.
we don't seize the moment before the prices go through the roof?
Yes.
Our present governor is a great example. When she was mayor, we ended up buying just a small piece of Palawea Beach with the same dollars, or we could have taken and bought the whole beach just a few years before. And now, we're losing access. And I also wonder about the houses that they're building. When you have houses that are millions and millions of dollars, and the most prime land is going to the very few, in my opinion probably, very few of the people that own these things live here.
Yes.
And very few of them are people that have lived and grown here and live here. And so it's just got to be balanced. I'm going to be talking soon. You'll see a show we're going to do here on Monday with Tom Blackburn Rodriguez, who runs the Affordable Housing Division, because there are ideas and plans. But I'm wondering, so you'd be supportive of, for example, being able to find lands that could be allocated so that the cost of land wasn't such a strong consideration. Affordable housing is a major problem, I'm sure. Major part of it is the incredible cost of land.
Absolutely.
And until we own A and B, or some of these large landowners, and change their social, it's a social responsibility, I think.
Yes.
When they control so much land and that kind of thing, yeah, it definitely would affect a lot of people that have existing housing, but there's a necessity level there that I just think is...
You have to be creative in your problem solving, and there's so many ways to deal with this. And if you can say you can get one of these landowners to donate X amount of land, X amount of acres, the land is donated. Now the homeowner just has to pay for the house, which totally may bring it into line. And thing, housing is like anything else. We need to add more controlled growth, affordable housing, so that the people have a place to stay. The TVRs was a huge issue. People were getting houses they could afford only because they could have a vacation rental to help pay the mortgage. Once that went away, they lost their house.
TVR, for all you who are watching.
I've done it again.
No, that's good. It's not Tennessee Valley. No, it's transient vacation rental.
Yes.
And again, that's good. These
He
birds,
agrees with me.
I think these guys are ready to vote. They're ready to vote. The transient vacation rental issue has been huge here. And I feel sorry for a lot of the people that purchased these properties thinking they were going to be able to do that and then have the rug pulled out from under them. I think we all knew that the laws were flawed, just didn't think that someone would come in and change things so radically, so quickly, and not, it's a lot of people have been, some losing their properties even over that issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these are unusual times anyway. I'm sure Maui's going to go through all kinds of changes. When talking to you about state job, if you will, I'm thinking that I want to stay and keep my ideas on state issues. Any other important state level issues that you feel comfortable that you want to be focusing on? I'm sure that, like everything, you'll be reviewing things. That's why I asked you if your reading glasses are sharp.
They call me the bookworm. So I read the entire library when I was young.
Wow.
Maybe that's some of the adult section.
Oh, I
well, speaking of libraries, that's something, being a book person, don't get me in the bookstore, it's not good.
Why?
I end up buying too much.
Well, Borders has a good, you can read them while you're there policy. You guys know that probably. I keep seeing all you in there reading and reading. Buy a few books. We want to support Porter.
Yeah.
You do.
But you know, we need to expand our libraries. That can be a community effort along with the government effort, for sure. Our school buildings, we need to start building. Lahaina Luna needs some work here, and they deserve our support. Our students are our future, and we must take care of their needs.
When you talk to people that are in the offices, they often say, well, find me the money. We all want to do these things. It's an interesting balancing act between what we need to do and what we can afford to do.
Yes.
Well,
I can find a whole lot of money. I can find millions and millions of dollars, and the one way would be quit throwing millions of dollars into government hospitals. The government has no business being in the hospital business. They really need to be out of the hospital business, and we need them to let private companies take over. Private companies always do better, and including mine.
Let me ask you a question. So I want to do this for clarification. Hospitals are run by governments? No. They're funded by government subsidy? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, every employee there is a government employee.
Oh, they are?
Yes, they are. So they're employed by the government, they're paid by the government, so you have to say they're being run by the government, and they're being funded by the government. But by its very nature, government hospitals never run as well as private hospitals. I'm working with a hospital now that hopefully will come to Maui and build a 350-bed state-of-the-art teaching hospital in Kihei. I'm working closely with them, and I think it is somebody who is capable.
What does a teaching hospital mean?
Very important part. Teaching hospitals always are on the cutting edge. The students keep the attendings on their toes. You're always looking at new ideas. You're always looking at the latest and greatest, and medicine changes incredibly rapidly. If you look at what we were doing 10 years ago in medicine, any department, any practice, and what we're doing now, it's incredibly different. There are so many research projects going all over the world from the different drugs.
So a teaching hospital is one that focuses on very advanced techniques and on the cutting edge.
Yes.
To be able to do things that others aren't even trying.
And others won't. Others will just kind of, we've always done it this way, we feel safe and comfortable.
And I'm just putting out words again. A private teaching hospital means that there's funding to support those efforts, even though they may not be cost effective, but they're on the cutting edge, opening the doors to future, what do we want to call it, productivity, because they were at the brave forefront.
Yes, absolutely.
That's sort of a plug for me. We formed the Maui Arts and Music Association so that we could be a vessel to get monies collected from you and others to be at the cutting edge to help important technologies for environment, to be able to create self-sustainability models through bringing future technologies to the present. Same with medical, and I'm sure that that kind of a hospital would add tremendous credibility and would attract the kind of doctors that we need here.
Absolutely. I've got a whole file full of staff from all over the world, actually, that want to come here, but they don't want to work in a government hospital. Government hospitals are known worldwide for being less successful medically, and 70% of our nurses, in fact, on this island are working, and the other 30% are not working. A lot of those 30% won't work because they won't work in a government hospital. So private hospitals, just by their very nature, they have to run a tight ship, and they have to do things right, or they won't profit. And even a private non-profit, which is what I'm looking at, there's a bottom line. You have to run a certain level of efficiency, or you can't make the bills.
I'm guessing you're saying that our present hospital doesn't have that kind of level of efficiency.
It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. And I don't think it can. As I understand, it's operating better than ever in the past. However, it never will reach the level that we need. The services, we don't have the services we need. We don't have So many of the ICUs, pediatric intensive care, neonatal intensive care, medical intensive care, there's a whole trauma. The whole thing is just very, how would you call it, low key as far as the services offered.
And they don't have the budgets to be able to add those things?
Well, all along, if they profited enough, HHSC, which is Hawaiian Healthcare Systems Corporation, they're the company that operates the government hospitals, they could dip in and take that money out to give to the other government hospitals. So not only do we have one hospital, our Maui Memorial has to support all the other hospitals. Now they're broken free of that for a short period of time, as I understand it. HHSC could still take money that first year out of my memorial. So even if they make money, that money gets taken by the government out. So it's kind of set up to not be able to be successful no matter what. That hospital needs to be purchased and run as a private hospital. And that is what I would like to see.
I've never heard it put as clearly as that.
Yeah.
The job in the state senate is only a number of months.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what do you hope to do? I guess be a housewife. What do you hope to do when you're not?
I'd love to be a housewife. That's not going to probably happen.
No, but you,
Well, you know,
you seem very involved with things. So.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can do on your off months. For myself, I want to keep my hand in nursing. I miss it terribly. And I would like to maybe do a travel assignment for 6 weeks of the time I'm off, because you work mid-January through the end of April, basically. And I'd like to, you know, I've got a couple job offers to do that sort of thing. And I'm also an inventor. I invent neonatal products and equipment. And so that keeps me pretty busy too, and that I can do from right here at home. Except for sometimes, occasionally, you have to go out to a show to present it, or to the company, and deal with some of the legal stuff and some of the fine-tuning of equipment and so forth. I've got inventions that are in 50 countries around the world.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
That's valuable, very important. See that? I know this is sort of funny. You look like a young girl, but I see a picture over there of another young girl, so
that's my
you have
baby.
To be...
I'm 54 years old.
No.
54, proud of it. Life does not end at 50.
When I get to 50, I'll remember. No, I'm there.
I'm proud to have made it this far.
Right. So you have, even though, like I say, even though you look very young,
oh, my
you
new
have,
best friend.
you have lots of life experience. You know, that's another thing. You know, you've seen people running, so you've had a lot of. So what were you doing before? Where was home?
Home was Michigan originally. Not a state I ever cared for because of the winters. I worked in Detroit, and that made it rather uncomfortable. My heart's been in Maui for quite a while, and finally, when the timing was right, we got to move here. So I love Maui. I love Hawaii. It's a great place.
Your husband is here and works.
Yes, he works for Department of Defense Police up in Haleakala.
I see.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
And
And we are small business owners too, and that's another concern of mine. If we hope to bring more small business to Hawaii, we really need to help these small businesses out. It's a very difficult place to run a business. Our tax, if you look at the tax burden of Hawaii compared to the rest of the country, we're number 4. We're number 4, and we don't need to be number 4.
you mean number 4 in the most taxed as a business?
That's the highest tax burden overall. And then, of course, our small businesses fall into that too. And we need to definitely do something about that.
Mm.
We need to lower our taxes. We need streamlined government. We need to run a more efficient show in the government, as well as our schools, as well as our hospitals.
Well, I wish we could find a way to create more money. You were saying you can create more money.
I can create more money, and that would be allow the certificate of need to be abolished, allow private companies to take over the government hospitals. And it doesn't matter if we've got good private hospitals on Oahu, and they want to take over the local hospitals and other islands, that's fine. As long as they provide the services to those hospitals, and as long as those hospitals don't become the mouth to feed the Oahu hospitals. And right now that's what we have in our government hospitals. We don't want the same situation. We want the islands to have their own hospitals, all of the neighbor islands. We don't have the time to get our patients. If you have a heart attack in the Big Island, try to get to Oahu in a timely manner, forget it. That's not good. Same with our babies. Our babies, we don't have a golden hour. We don't have golden minutes. We have seconds. Those babies need proper care immediately. And you know, you can be creative. We have to be creative being islands. On Maui, the big hospital in South Maui, I would like to connect it to the hospital in West Maui with helicopter service, 8 minutes. Once that, I did neonatal transport, so I know how that all works. And once the experts come from the big hospital in 8 minutes, you are then in expert hands. And our hospital that we have planned here will be a 25-bed critical access hospital. They will stabilize. We can share staff between the 3 hospitals. And we can't forget Lanai and Molokai. We should give them free ferry service for them, the patients, the families, so they can come see and be with their sick ones, their loved ones. And also, it's nothing to have just some vans, run them from, you know, Lahaina Harbor, Ma'alea, whichever one they go into, to either hospital, depending on where they're going, and help those folks out. If we're a teaching hospital, we can have residents that go help back in Hana, because Hana is not getting what it needs. So have the residents go back there and help those doctors, so those doctors aren't so overworked.
Right.
Have those doctors, residents are doctors, have them go over and go to Molokai and help those people over there.
I actually spoke to a doctor at Maui Memorial.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to mention names, but he was talking, he works 7 days a week.
Yes, yes.
7 days a week? What's that about?
Well, you know, because we cannot attract doctors to our hospital, that's going to continue to go on. Our
And I
doctors
was
are getting
thanking him
older.
for doing that. I mean, yeah, this gentleman was 66 years old, and you know, staying. I was going to say, doesn't look young like you, but you know, he's there in the gym is where I saw him, and I thanked him. In fact, I think he was part of the Malulani
Well, that group.
group.
Well, they're getting older, and we're burning them out. What is
Yeah.
the point of living and doing medicine in Hawaii if you can't enjoy our beauty? And they can't. It's overwhelming for them. They're scared who's going to take care of our doctors, and we're not setting ourselves up. We're heading towards a disaster. We're really heading towards a disaster if we don't act. And it's long past the time for action. We need to start acting now.
You know, those are really powerful words. It's long past the time for action.
Yes.
I'm glad that you're running. I know that your opponent, the incumbent, will have lots to say, and you guys will have lots of dialogue. I hope that as time goes on, you'll come and join me again. This is so young in this political season. This is sort of a warm-up for me, so please appreciate. I'm not up on my, you know, facts or what I'm asking. I'm really doing this thinking that it's important for people to get to see who you are, so that when they see you, they'll stop you and say, hey, I saw you on TV. Here's an issue I want to talk about. Here's an issue. I'm sure that the next time that we're on, you'll seem, quote, more like a politician in that you'll have ideas of what you'll be wanting to talk to as they will specifically relate to our constituency. I hope all of you will start coming out, and when you see Jan, which I hope all of you will, you know, see her and say, hey, she's very approachable and available and communicates very comfortably and easily. So to me, that's very important in having a representative you can talk to.
Absolutely.
Some
Open
of these
door,
representatives have not been an open door.
Yeah. And we need more transparency in government. We need more approachability. And I'm approachable. Stop me, say, hey, Jan, I want to talk about whatever. I'm here to listen. I need to know what your concerns are and your ideas, too. So absolutely stop me if you see me.
That's right, and buy her lunch, by the way.
Food's always good, chocolate.
Well, say that again. See, they like to talk, but they don't like to talk when I'm talking at them. Why don't you want to bring a couple of these on TV?
Yeah, these are
we're
my
gonna
rescue
cut
birds.
and we're gonna go see the birds.
All right.
One second. One second. You're ready. So, who do we have here?
Okay, we have 2 rescue parrots.
What is a rescue parrot?
This guy here, this is Kayla, and he's a male, a little bit of lipstick on his head. He was a neglected parrot.
How do you get lipstick on your head, Kayla?
We don't want to talk about that,
Oh.
right, baby?
Oh, that's how.
Anyway, he was very neglected the first 6 years of his life. Very good. Yes, I'm not going to forget you. He was just in a room in a cage, and he didn't have any interaction, and he was actually psychotic. I didn't know I would be able to save him. I worked with him for years. He bite, and was very unhandleable, but he's doing good now, aren't you?
And he's very, very approachable and friendly.
Yes,
It's really nice.
yes.
And the other one?
And this is Babu, and she was raised from an egg by 2 people, and they were firefighters. They had to go off to Iraq, and they needed to have someone take their bird. And we felt that Kayla needed some companionship, so this is Babu. She's got a little bit of an issue, you can see, with picking her feathers. Oh yes, you're beautiful.
Yeah, you are beautiful.
But we're working with her, and she's getting better. And they're
How old
growing
is
back.
she?
She's about 8, and he's
Okay.
about 11. Let me see if I can get him to do any tricks. Are you shy of the camera? Huh? Are you shy of the camera? Here, maybe I'll get this one. Come here, Kayla. Come here, baby. Come on, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Let's do Happy Bird. Are you gonna vote for Jan? Huh? You could do Happy Bird? Do Happy Bird. You'll vote? Okay. Okay, how about you? Oh, you're shy. You're shy.
We've heard of a parrot court. What is this about?
Okay, say aloha.
Aloha.
Huh?
You guys ready to sing some?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are very, very nice and friendly.
Yes. Be happy bird.
Happy bird.
Be happy bird. Yes. Yeah. No, you don't. Oh, you're going to kiss the camera.
Kiss
Okay.
the camera.
Oh, come on, you. Come on.
Well, we're going to go back here and talk about it. What now?
I like. He likes you.
Oh.
I love you, bird.
Oh, good. Thanks. Well, we're going to go back and talk to your... Are you their mom? You're not really their mom. You're their good
Actually,
friend.
yes, I am. They
Oh, you
named
are?
me Big Bird.
Oh.
Tall, yellow. So
Oh,
they name you. You know, you're kind of stuck with it. But I guess I named them, so fair enough.
yeah. Well, they're really nice. Well, we're going to go back and we're going to let you guys sit in there while we talk about a couple of more important things, and then we're going to wrap it up. Okay, guys? And then we'll come play again. I'll give you your mom back.
Okay, you be good. You be good.
Aloha, guys. The magic of television. We're back. Oh, look at it. Got him.
Yeah, now he has something to say.
That's right. See, when we had him on camera, he was quiet.
He's shy.
That's right. Well, there are a couple of more issues that I know that you've wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Why don't we take them one at a time?
Okay. Well, tort reform. Tort reform is really an important issue. I'm not totally against lawsuits that are reasonable and the person has just cause. But frivolous lawsuits and huge awards are hurting our doctors. One of our doctors told me that he spent $63,000 a year on his insurance.
Wow.
So he made no money till April. Now, if you look at our high taxes, he's not making any money till about August. So that's a problem. Texas did tort reform, and it's attracted tons of doctors. So tort reform is an extremely issue.
Let's take the words tort reform. Some of you know what that is. What are we really talking about? In legal contract words. What, do you have a simple definition for that?
Medical tort reform is just making the laws so that someone can't, for example, do ice through their whole pregnancy, have a problem with a baby because of their drug use, and then turn around and sue the doctor for it. That sort of thing needs to be controlled.
Have you been structuring anything about that already?
You know, what we need to do is look at the states that have had successful tort reform and model after them.
Okay. So there are successful programs already?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, we've been talking about our doctors. Our doctors are getting paid so low, their reimbursement is really poor. We need to change that. We cannot attract doctors and keep our doctors with our high cost of living unless we pay them what they're worth. They give up their whole youth. By the time they're out in the market, they're going out 30 years old, huge loans, and then we want them to come and work here for peanuts. And that's not okay. We need to do loan forgiveness programs so that nurses and docs will come here, and then you forgive their loans. You pay their loans off for them at so much per year, depending on what the state can afford and what the budget can afford.
I see.
And that's worked very well in Michigan. They've done some of the, on a nursing level, they had shortages, and they did, you work every year you work is so much of your nursing loans, your school loans paid off, and heck, it's a great deal for attracting.
Is that attractive to you? Yeah, we'd like to attract more doctors and better doctors. I was really shocked to hear this guy tell me. These guys really want to get in on the action. I was shocked to hear that doctor tell me that he was working 7 days a week, that he'd just come back from Oahu, where he did a shift over there as well. I can't imagine there's any way to stay fresh 7 days a week.
That's correct. That's correct. You get overtired, you get burdened, that's when mistakes are made. It's really not okay to do that, so we need to help them
Well, like I say, I'm very happy that you decided to join us. I want to be sure that you know who Jan Shields is. So when you see her on the street or you see her anywhere, please feel free and comfortable to come up and talk with her, and realize she's running for state senate. I know that from my times in political process that this is going to be a great learning experience. Being public and involved citizen versus being a public and involved candidate, you may find sometimes people attack you without knowing. All right, we'll be there. Without knowing, so I'm hoping that everyone will give Jan the chance to be seen and heard. Because you know what? All right. I was going to say, because you know what? You may just find. Now it's interesting. Their whatever we want to call that, screech,
Yeah.
comes through loud and clear. I guess you heard it clearly. It's just important, you know, when you have a new candidate against an incumbent, the incumbent has their pluses and their minuses, and a new candidate has pluses and minuses. Be fair and open, and give Jan a chance, because I'm sure many of you are saying, what a brave soul to be putting herself up to public scrutiny because she has a passion for wanting to make a difference in our community. At the very least, in any district that you're in, please register so that you can vote. And then vote.
Yes.
It's probably the greatest single opportunity and responsibility that we have. The only way to get things to happen is with us being involved. Some take the big step and some take little steps. A big step to me is running for office. I love doing it, and I'd do it again, but this time I am much happier being able to bring people like you and be able to bring important ideas in front of you so that you will step up and get involved in your part, which is to register and vote. Thank you for being here with me. It's
Thank
been a
you
real
very
great
much.
pleasure.
I appreciate it.
And I'm glad that your boy and your girl have been so good. They are really happy. I've never seen birds that were as active and involved and happy as these guys.
Well, the one went from neglect to being spoiled, I think, but it's my baby.
And he knows it. He definitely knows it.
Yeah.
Jan, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
We are going to say aloha. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you again.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Oh, he's having a banner day here.
Yeah, that's all right.
Hi. No, not hi. Look at how nice.
No matter where you go, no matter what you do, take that Maui style with you. Cause if you ain't Maui styling, you just living on an island. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 There is sunshine in your heart. It's been with you from the start. Lift your head, look to the heavens, then you will feel brand new again. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Reach out your hand and help each other. Your mother, your father, your sister and brother.